Okay, so here's a simple improvisational technique I got hip to by a guitarist called Jordan Clemens, contemporary guitar player, very, very good. But he's talking about these triads which have an extra tension note in them, which he calls quadrads. Or his teacher, Stefan Harris, calls them this. The interesting thing about this approach is it's very versatile. It can be used for playing, post-Kurt Rosenwinkel non-functional jazz, or it can be used for playing gypsy jazz. The basic melodic materials are actually really appropriate for this kind of music, I think, and I'll hopefully demonstrate that to you today. It's very, very simple. The more kind of modern applications, you can end up doing stuff with the upper extensions of chords. And that might even be applicable to some tunes in the gypsy jazz repertoire. But for this particular example, we're going to keep it very, very simple. So we're just going to play on minor swing. And as we all know, minor swing is basically 3 chords. A minor 6th, D minor 6th, and E7. So normally, I suppose, the bedrock of gypsy jazz soloing is really to be able to play on the arpeggios. And the basic arpeggios of these chords are the triad arpeggios. So A minor. Like that. Okay, D minor. And E7, so just E major. And, obviously we decorate these a lot when we play, but a very, very simple way to decorate these, and I'm kind of going to use this much more in a way of kind of melodic improvisation rather than necessarily sort of full-on gypsy jazz shred, but there are some licks that we might already know that seem to be commonplace in the gypsy jazz language, which are actually triads plus an extra note, and that's these sorts of arpeggios, from the Montana Saint-Genevieve, for instance, and they're minor arpeggios with an added second degree. And this is what we're going to use to improvise. So we're going to use this. And I think just adding in that extra note, that B, that second, remember you're going to have to know which notes are which in the arpeggio to be able to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. It's good to drill yourself like that if you don't know which notes are which. We're going to add this note in as a sort of auxiliary note to kind of add a bit of spice to our basic triad arpeggio. And we can bend. It sounds really nice and sounds really kind of cool to do that. And we can slide. But one thing we've got to note is that that is not a consonant note. It wants to it wants to resolve either up or down, depending. So it's kind of an interesting little tension note. And it's funny how that little extra note is enough to make the triad way more interesting. Okay, the next chord is D minor 6, so we're going to do the same to that. And then you get to the E7. Same deal with that, but instead of adding a 2, we're going to add a flat 2. It's the half step above the E, or the 1. Sorry? That's the one I was looking for. Okay, so really cool sounds, I think, even though there are only 4 notes. And I'm just going to give you an idea of how that basically works on the very simple 3-chord minor swing. I'm using Gonzalo Bagara's backing track, which usefully has the chord chart on it. So let's have a go with that.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
D minor, E7. So my fingers are still kind of getting used to it. It's not really about the kind of shred or the fast stuff. I mean, my fingers don't know any licks really using this stuff yet. But of course, you can incorporate other techniques within that, your usual repertoire and language and stuff.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Quadrats, for instance. So I can put my other stuff in that I would normally play there alongside it, and it works really well, I think. It's a good way of stepping back from the kind of full-on speed lick kind of side of things. Not that I have a huge number of full-on speed licks, but you get the idea. Now, there's a few other things we can do to make this more interesting. Now, one thing we can do is we can add a major sixth to the minor chords, which is standard. I mean, really what we're playing is a minor sixth arpeggio. But in the language of this new approach, that sixth is kind of a tension note. It's got the same function as the 2. Then on the E minor, see, so maybe we'll lose a sixth on that, we'll use a flat sixth. Sounds a little bit more Charlie Christian-y. And by the way, we're free to use chromatic embellishments or anything else on this stuff. I might just do that in the second chorus, just to give you an idea. But the fundamental principle remains the same.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was doing a little bit of mixing up there. I was using both kinds of arpeggios and a few little sort of passing tones and chromatics there as well. Now, lastly, on the E7, we've got the option of using a B flat 7 with a sharp 4. Why a sharp 4? Well, because that belongs to the E major triad. So it's kind of like just like a little bit of a hint of a kind of jazz substitution or upper extension kind of thing. But obviously this kind of is very familiar to most gypsy players, moving between B flat and E7. So I'm just going to use that as well. And something else I hinted at in my solo is using the A. Using the A major with a flat 2 to get into the D minor. Anyway. 1, 2, 1.
A minor 2. D minor 2. E7. Okay, A major. A minor 6. So that one there was B flat with a sharp 4 as well, just kind of getting into the A minor. Anyway, I think this is quite a powerful technique. You can hear that I'm not perhaps completely 100% on top of it yet, but I think it has a way of generating interesting melodies that are within the style, and it's a good thing to check out. So thanks for watching. Bye.